All right. Hello, hello, Geminis. Geminis, this is your first monthly message for this month of June. Thank you guys all so much. And for any of you sun signs tuning in, happy birthday during this season. Of course, I just completed your birthday messages, your soul return messages for you sun sign Geminis. So if you haven't checked those out, check my channel to view those. That is where I unboxed, unveiled, and gave you guys the first message working with these different oracle cards for this month of June. All right, so as you see here, I also brought in my sage, and I haven't been working with sage for a while, but I felt guided to through this. So we're going to cleanse this space together, raise the vibration. I've already done some of my prayers, setting the sage, and something new for this month is working with the pendulum. To decipher and give this divination message for the highest good of the Geminis tuning in. As always, only take what might resonate for you on your personal journey, okay, Geminis? I do open up the monthly energies for also rising sign and moon sign Geminis, Venus, Mercury. So throughout those monthly messages, you can tune into your rising sign, moon sign, Venus, however you might feel guided for clarification and guidance for individuals tuning into these messages. Okay. So we've got the sage going. I chose the sage with lavender for calm, clearing. I did this one on your very last birthday message, the fifth one, where we worked with Granny's postcards. It was actually really fascinating. That fifth one. I just didn't throw this out there for anyone who purchases tarot or works with tarot. If you have this Granny's postcards, or you've purchased this, whether it be through Etsy or whatever, from Pentagram, the Pentagram publishing shop. I'm just so curious because when I unboxed it, it was like there was already a story in there. So that was your first message. I didn't even reshuffle, because normally a brand new deck will come in order, starting with the Fool. So I'm just curious if, like, if this same message is already in the box for others, if you've noticed that, or if you choose to end up getting that, that particular tarot. That was really fascinating. And I don't think I'm going to start with tarot in this first video, but look forward to that. You will have more than one video. And at this point, I'm not quite sure if there will be 4 or 5 or 3. I don't know. But and they can have different messages for different Geminis tuning in, right? Yeah, so use your own discernment as well. But they can also add on to the story. And I try and just do this for a 30-day energy poll. All right. Anyways, I'm really curious about that. So look forward to Granny's Postcards Tarot. I haven't decided exactly which video I'll be pulling the tarot with. You guys, like I said, are the very first zodiac sign working with these particular cards for this month of June. And I'm excited to check it out. Sometimes throughout I will give excuse me, sometimes without I will give different dates and times. Sometimes they can be birthdays, anniversaries, spotlight days for you guys, people in your life. However it might resonate. And for some of you, it won't resonate, right? Because a lot of different people that might tune in. So keep that in mind. And sometimes it can be, death days of anniversaries of your ancestors or past on loved ones coming forth, giving you clarification or guidance. It was absolutely a beautiful tarot message. I'm just curious, like, if somebody else purchased this when you unveil it or unbox it, or if you have, right? So I'm just gonna throw that out there. If you do end up getting, this deck, or any of you that are tuning in throughout the monthlies, all different zodiac signs, I'm so curious to know, because it was like a whole story unveiled when I opened it up. So it was very different from normal. So I'm wondering if they use the same like story dynamic when I reflect on that, even if it was maybe from like the artist, the author, that message was about saying thank you. I get it, about thank you for being supportive, being part of my soul family, my soul tribe. It also could be like this is the story, of from an ancestor, granny, or um, telling you the story that she witnesses or the story that she went through. Okay. And of course, for this month, we do have uh, Father's Day coming up. So happy Father's Day to those fathers out there. As we get closer to that, I didn't double check it. I always talk about the moon cycles. So you're gonna have that full moon 6/11 in your opposite Sagittarian, that full strawberry moon, and then at the end of the month we're gonna have that new moon in Cancer sign. Honestly, I got a lot of Virgo energy coming forth for you. You could also be a Virgo, right? Any of the other signs I bring forth: Scorpio, Libra, Leo, Taurus. Those really seem spotlighted. A couple of dates I did see, I saw, well, there's more than this. A lot of Leo and Taurus energy too. I saw 7:31. I also saw 11:05, 10:15. 9:13, 9:09. um hmm I saw 6:03. Happy birthday. It is 6:03 as I am doing this video, is Tuesday. Ooh, it's Bold Tuesday. Maybe I'll pull in some Bold Tuesday cards. So adding something new. Not every sign gets those. And I feel like those are their action-oriented cards. Okay. I'm excited. The first few videos were really fascinating, and especially if that story or certain things that were coming forth, especially if they didn't resonate for you Geminis for the birthday season, maybe this will give a different message as well. We will just see when we get into there. So I cleansed with the sage. I always want to raise the vibration as well. I might be working with the pendulum for splitting the decks and deciphering which cards and which messages. I think we will start from the beginning with the Soul's Journey lesson cards by James Van Prague. Beautiful messages. I just did some rose water to raise up the vibration, and we will begin. Thank you guys all so much. Once again, it's 7:31 on the clock, as I said that, guys. 7:30, 7:31. And even if any of those days are times, for the Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio energy, because I did give a bunch of different dates and times throughout, especially the birthday messages at this stage, right? It could still just be that energy. Like you could have that in your chart or be dealing with these different people, whether they be in your life, your family, whether they be some of those people that because some of those days and times I saw, remind me of some weird karmic friends, okay? Also, some of the dates I'm getting, or even a potential sibling or something like that. Maybe you have some issues or something. I don't know. Or, that's the thing. I'm not giving music. Well, maybe. The last song I just listened to was actually by Rihanna, and it was Towards the Sun, which comes off of that soundtrack Home. I think that's Pixar or DreamWorks or something. With the alien, such a cute. It makes me think of Taurus and Libra energy. Turn your head towards the sun. Let the shadows fall behind you. Also got the Bare Naked Ladies, and it's all been done before. There definitely was names. There was some Led Zeppelin too, rock and roll. Been a long time since I rock and roll. Okay, I'm trying to get this Palo Santos going. This particular one has been not wanting to get going here. So I'm doing the cleansing and then the raising of the vibration. Hey, that's what we're doing before we're starting. All right. And like I said, I did bring in the pendulum. So I'm also supposed to, once we get this going, we're going to set the pendulum. Okay, I got the Palo Santos going. All right. Okay, Geminis. Okay, this one is set. So, I am new at working with the pendulum, but you know, that's the whole thing. So we're supposed to first make sure that we are connected to God's love with the yes or no. Are we now connected with God's love from my Holy Spirit, holy angels, my ancestors? We must first be connected with God's love for answers, for guidance. Okay, here we go. Yes, yes. For me, circles are yeses. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, God. Thank you, ancestors. Okay, I'm going to set this off to the side. And this is the way we're going to do it. Okay, let me get the cleansing materials out of the way. I will set these off to the side. And I have reshuffled all of these cards, Geminis, and as well, welcome to any new subscribers as well, and anybody new. And thank you guys for your support and your likes, your comments, your shares, all that good stuff. I usually don't ask so much about that. I'm not in it to get fame or get big. I'm just doing this because I feel guided to do it, and I love doing it. Okay, and I love learning, I love exploring, and so I appreciate all of you. And it does, I mean, as my channel grows, I am thrilled. You know, I know I'm kind of like a drop in the ocean of the information in this sea of information on the YouTube, but you know, it's like finding a needle in the haystack, and you found me. Hey, thank you. But I mean, I started with like basically none. So, you know, maybe like 5 or 10 people that I actually know, and some of those people are not really into this stuff anyways. They're just there, so they probably don't tune in. But so beyond that, all the rest of you are, you know, just part of people that have found my channel, found some type of guidance or entertainment or whatever. And so thank you all. Let's begin. I hope you enjoy the message of the soul's journey. I'm going to try and keep this, you know, if some of this resonates for things from the past, because a lot of times, you know, it might be that, you know, stuff that happened in our, you know, our youth or in the past, and then comes back up to kind of find some type of healing or understanding or process, right? So keep that in mind. Okay, this way we're going to do it. We are at 12:27 on the clock, so some Capricorn energy. Oh, weird. Okay, so I already shuffled these, so I am actually going to split the deck and not look. Oops. Knocking this over. I debated keeping that up there. I think I'm going to move this out of the way. The Soul's Journey Lesson Cards by James Van Praagh. Okay. Those ones are different. So this is a way of eliminating some of the cards that do not apply for you, okay? Someone bring the camera down as well. And we're going to ask the pendulum, which and if I don't get a permanent answer, I'm learning as well that means that I need to reshuffle, because there could be cards in both stacks that they want applied. Okay, so should we start with this deck? Yes or no? And Gemini's, in your first one is where I set my pendulum to decipher the yes and the no. Okay, is there any cards in this deck for the Geminis? Okay, I'm getting kind of a silent. All right, let's check this one. Should we start with this deck? Are there cards within this deck for the Geminis for their highest good for this month of June? Yes or no? Okay, if you notice, it is like vibrating there. So what that is telling me is I need to do another shuffle, because it means that there is cards on both sides. Okay, thank you, pendulum. All right. So here we go. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Geminis, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mercury, all who will tune in for the highest good of the Geminis for this month of June. I'm going to do, that's 2 shuffles. Now I'm going to do 2 the other way. And I don't believe these will read any reversals or anything. All right. Gemini, Gemini, Gemini. These are such pretty cards. Okay, now we're going to split that again. We're going to try this one more time. Now, if I'm really not getting responses with the pendulum, I will just do it the traditional way. But okay, so shall we start with this first pile for the Geminis? Yes or no? I'm kind of getting a no. I'm getting a no. Yeah, it's pretty strong no. Okay, that means we can remove this stack. Okay, so I will place this one back. We will remove this stack. So there are no cards in there applying. Now we will double check. Now I don't want to take too many because this do get long, right? Okay. All right. I don't know if I'm going to do this for every sign, but I'm going to try something new. Okay. Is this the deck we should start with? Yes or no? I'm getting a no on this one too. Ooh, maybe they want me to start with a whole different deck. And with that, I'm also going to feel like that I need to minimize, okay? All right. Let me shuffle for the Geminis. I know y'all just want me to jump right in, and maybe I won't do this, throughout for all the other zodiac signs. Thank you guys for your patience as well. Doing this. Okay. And now one more split. Ooh, one of them jumped out. So we're going to take it. Pride. I love myself and I see myself in everyone. So pride. In the name of love. You too. Pride. Okay. So you're definitely getting that one. That one is new. That did not come out in the previous videos, especially for the birthday solar return Geminis. Okay, let's see. Shall we start with this deck? Are there cards within this stack? Whoa, I feel like I moved a little bit. Look, you see it vibrating, but not doing. All right, wait. I'm getting a yes. Okay, there's a yes. So we will keep these. Yes, big yes. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Pendulum. This is just a quartz. Okay, now let's double check this other stack. Are there cards in this stack for the Geminis for their highest good in this particular energy? Yes. So both. Okay, maybe I will take all of these, guys. It feels like quite a bit, but that's a big yes. So let's start there. The way this also deciphers is then I flip the cards over. Okay, I'm going to tell the story. This is for your entire month of June as well, so keep that in mind, okay? Telling the story, and some of it may be, for individuals tuning in. So always use your own intuition as well. And, this is about self-care as well and knowing thyself, all right? And acknowledging that there's certain things within us that we're working on, especially with this. Now, these can resonate regarding certain people in your life or relationships. So, once again, however it might apply. All right, so we're going to start with this. I'm going to set this over here. We are taking all of these, so quite a big spread. Next, we have peace. Oh my gosh, I love this. I am a being of love and I release all negative energy. A being of love, releasing negative energy. Okay. We have death. Ooh. Now, some of these came in reverse, but I don't see them as, I'm not going to read them in reversals. I'm learning that endings are merely beginnings. So there was quite a bit. Look, I'm getting Libra, Scorpio, and Leo. That's so interesting that these cards are pulling in that energy. Maybe we'll start with those. Maybe I should save. This other stack is a lot. I think I don't know why I do it this way, just so you guys can see it as well. We have humor. No way. I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. Look, we got the laughing Buddha. That makes me think of the Leo energy. Okay, when I speak of the different signs, it can just be that energy, right? Some of you have Leo rising potentially. Doesn't have to be. Humor and pride. Okay, and peace. I am a being of peace, and I release all negative energy and doubt. Okay. Doubt came through in the Gemini birthday messages. It looks like a sunflower, and as I look closer to this, it almost looks like a crochet or something, or um the sunflower. This says to release the need to know all the answers. You know, and one of the songs I did give, especially for those Gemini birthdays, it's one of my favorites of Boston, and it's peace of mind, right? This also does pull in, like I said, some Libra and Scorpio energy. All right, let's see. Death and happiness. Wow, we have the dolphins. I am aware that being happy means that I am on the right path. Learning that endings are merely beginnings. And with the death card, it's not just a meaning like an actual, a literal death. All right. But it can very well be. It's learning that there is life after death also, right? Endings are happen throughout our life journey, whether it be a job ending, a relationship ending, different stages of life, and knowing that that's an ending of a cycle. All right. There was a time when I did find out, of a passing away, and my brain just was like, they completed their mission, their earthly mission for this life, right? But clearly in this world we see sometimes, it seems as though people are taken, especially with some of that darker inner. When I say darker energy, that's that scorpionic. And something that was coming to my mind is actually, gosh, I don't think I remember his full name. June, I think it was June 1st. So there was Jonathan, and he was a voiceover and an actor from like King of the Hill. And his husband Tristan, and they felt he was murdered. He was shot just recently, and it seemed as though it was a bit of a hate crime based on their sexuality. And for some of you Geminis, I kind of was getting that, like, some of you may be in some same-sex relationship. Now, not all of you, clearly, and that's okay. And also having that understanding for others and their life journey and their sexual preferences, right? I don't know why. But also knowing that, like, when something ends and then bringing you into some joyful happiness with, there is Cancerian energy, there's the sunshine energy too, the dolphins. Wow. So I get that as also knowing that that's not the end, right? And also releasing the need to know all the answers. And basically that's because there is so much information in this world and on our journeys that it is impossible to know all. And that's why, there are certain people who they realize that this is their speciality and they master that, but they are not the master of other things, and so that's why we can also learn from others, mentors, guides, teachers, right? And there's no need for you to retain all the information in the world. All right. Okay. Wow. We have 6 so far. Imagination. Embrace and nourish the creative aspect of my mind, your creativity, your imagination. This does pull in some Piscean energy, which was also interlinked. Your creativity, the artist. I wonder, should I am still going to set this pile up here because we did get a big yes. So maybe this will be sandwiching over it. Okay, even though I said these here, I am going to place them here. I am going to go straight across. So we have 6. And then because that happiness and imagination. Dude, this also, of course, I have to go to like John Lennon and the Beatles, okay? Your fellow Gemini, Paul McCartney, a name John and Jonathan. There was multiple different Johns. I saw Paul as well. Jimmy, almost said Rage. Oh, is Jimmy in a rage? I don't know. Or James. Um, Robert. Okay. Imagination. I embrace and nourish the creative aspects of my mind. All right. And that's what I'm doing with my with my paintings too. So whatever it is you do, I love this. You have this beautiful like lavender and the green. Oh wow. Okay. So I'm taking those two. There's two left. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, we got 9. Okay. We have abundance. That's where we start. You can create abundance. So I'm also getting that this is like being in flow. So knowing that what you're, when you are like in your purpose, because the next one is purpose, okay? Your creativity is flowing, you're doing something you enjoy, you can actually create an abundance, of wealth if that's what you need for, or of friendships or whatever. Also, number one, the abundance. I am a limitless being and I can manifest whatever I desire in this physical reality. I'm going to set that here. And also being proud of yourself and in everyone else you see. Okay. And peaceful purpose. The purpose may be to create peace. I know what I am here to do. You know your purpose. You know what you are. Wow. Okay. I'm going to continue it with these because it said, yes, there's a lot in here. Trust. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. This is knowing yourself, knowing exactly your purpose. This is a huge thing. This is beautiful. All right, with humor, choosing to focus on the lighter side, and overcoming guilt, releasing any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth. And that did come forth with the Gemini birthday message, and I think we all can. So using even humor to lighten I get even like making fun of yourself. I'm getting a little bit of like the coyote energy of like laughing at your own follies, okay? Also releasing any type of guilt or beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth. Also with doubt, releasing the need to be the know-it-all or know everything, and working with forgiveness. I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. Forgiveness. Wow, with the orange and the color schemes too. So the affirmators and the family affirmators, this might be interlink you with people in your family, right? These are fun when we get to that one. I kind of feel like I will just like let this grow, if that makes sense. And add on. So once we complete this soul purpose, I'm going to share what it says in the book. This could get a little long, and this could definitely be split up for the beginning of the month and knowing your purpose, and even when there is certain endings in life, trusting that there was a purpose in it, right? Finding humor to lighten the mood, laughter and the belly laughter to raise your vibration, overcoming any. Now, these could even be in the foundation, and doing this like not holding on to any type of resentment or rage or anger or guilt or shame, and letting things go. Okay. And this is leading you to this happiness and your creativity, using your imagination. Oh my gosh, it was just my imagination. I don't know why. Like, I am so drawn to these two colors. Like, this does bring me happiness. Like, I always use these as well for my inspiration for my paintings and stuff. I actually been working a lot with the green. It looks a little similar to this. um I love this light lilac color. I haven't used it for a while. You know, and I utilize what I have, so I'm excited. So I see this into that future. So we could even, like I said, splitting this into, I'm kind of getting, you know, this could be in that first week, you know, or even right now at the current time, and then really working on finding peace with death. Damn, okay. Within endings. Libra had, there was a time where it was either Libra or Taurus. That had this. It was like with their spirit allies. This is facing that. That's like an ultimate fear of all humans, okay? Or like I said, it can be any type of an, you know, an ending. It doesn't have to be. And that's even with spirit coming forth. You know, I share this all the time, Geminis, you know, that my mother, my grandmother, both Geminis. I also have an uncle who's passed, who's Gemini. I don't often connect as much with my uncles just because I wasn't as close, right? I have an Aries uncle popping in sometimes. Brother. And that's for me personally, the people that have already, you know, transitioned. And that's what even kind of set this into motion, right? Okay. Doing the forgiveness work and knowing that you don't need to know it all, right? Like, and it can be even like, I'm getting with this doubt and forgiveness. It could be even something like, you know, knowing that now if there was something that ended because of, you know, some type of like a relationship because of maybe deception or hurt, because that's where forgiveness come into, or lies or certain things, and wanting to know the truth and all the details and what really, I'm getting a sense of being like, you know what, it doesn't matter anymore. What's done is done. All right. And I don't need to know all of it. I'm going to focus on my happiness, use my creativity, and feel a sense of peace. Okay. The next one we have is service. I feel good when I can help others. What? It was so much talking about that even. It creates happiness within you to feel of service. I think we all do. Um, it was showing, you know, being there for others, helping them even with their own happiness, or helping them work with other things. So service. Wow, I love how the little mint, I'm getting like this mint color. These are beautiful cards. This is quite a bit. I really want to try and minimize these so they don't have so many, but this first one may just be about this soul's journey. All right. Okay. Imagination, empathy. Wow. I am open to seeing both sides of a situation. Right. And this is, you know, you can definitely have that. Like, us air signs, okay, we can be called cold, detached, and cutting, but we can see both sides of the issue. We can be a neutral party. We can still be empathetic and understanding. I get this is a little Virgo Pisces energy as well, like the hanged man there, seeing both sides of the issue, a different perspective, and using and being of service to others. Wow, we have, oh my gosh, there's so many here. I think I'm just gonna take those. I might save these for later, okay? This is too many. I'm going to let you see them, but I'm not going to reiterate them. Oh, but we want to. Love is there. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. Oh my gosh, what is it with this color right here? With that red is so bomb. And there's a pearl in there. Okay, I so want to give you all of these. We're going to look at it. Indecision. I use my intuition in all aspects of life. Okay, these are the remaining ones. Ooh, that looks like a passion flower. Ooh, about failure. I understand the mistake is only an opportunity to learn. Look, we definitely have some Libra energy and finding peace with something. Indecision. Surrendering, I can release my need to control. All right. And surrendering to endings, even. Okay. Not controlling. Okay. The affirmators are coming up next. Let's set them there. And the beautiful thing is with this deck, I have been charging it with the rose quartz as well as the green avertine, humor, and freedom. I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. All right, choosing to focus on the lighter side of life. No way, it's gonna be perfect. Holy crap. I had no idea. I was like, these are too many. Okay, releasing any doubt and need to know all the answers and working with forgiveness. We have honesty. Damn. I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect it from myself. That's exactly what I was getting with that. Like, kind of just saying, whatever. I may never know the exact truth. This person may never be completely upfront, honest, but I know that I will be. Like, I love that. Even regarding this may very much be okay, even with the humor, okay, and the forgiveness. As you can see with the affirmators, the family stuff, it's funny, but I also have some disappointing affirmations as well as some F that honest meditation. That's even keeping it the lighter side of things, right? Okay, with your happiness and service and imagination is about your growth. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. Happiness. And the final card is love. Oh my gosh. See, I was like, there's too many here. And using your imagination, being empathetic, committing to the practice of seeing the good in all things. Empathy, imagination. What? Okay. So those were the cards that were chosen by Spirit using the pendulum divination for you for this soul's journey. Now, this is for your month of June, okay? And it could be that it's, I think this is a human thing. So if these certain aspects aren't, resonating with you on your journey, then let it be. At some point in time, they will. Okay, so we have 3, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 times 3. No, I'm trying to, yeah, is that 21? So 21st could be spotlight, 721 even. Weird. That's weird. I could have even shifted it the other way. I don't know. So this could be in your thoughts. Okay. This could be, how you're seen even. And these could be some of the roots, like getting you grounded when we talk about that like in the crowning energy and the foundation. Okay. I don't know. I'm just, but the main flow is right here, and then jumping all the way over here. What? This is a lot. Yes. Honey, this is a huge spread. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 7 times 3, 21 cards. This one's huge. Huge. Sorry, I just felt like a little Trump came out because he's also a Gemini. This is huge. Okay. I gotta laugh about all of that stuff. I just say, you know what? With the political things and like with our presidents, it's something that society's been doing for a long time. There was always like, political cartoons making and laughing and making fun of this. And I have to say, through Joe Biden's term, I received some of the best laughs. I know people got angry about things, and yes, there are things to be angry about, and same thing, but man, it's just that you have to surrender, because there are just certain things in this world that you have no control over, and why let that bring you into anger or rage, or it disrupts your ability to just enjoy your life here. I really feel like that's You know, people who don't want to just be happy, what's wrong? Why not? Sometimes it feels like there's always something trying to poke your fun, you know, take a dump in your cornflakes, ruin your day, steal your joy, steal your happiness. I understand that. Anyways, this is a huge spread. What are we at on time? Wow, 40:08. So the way it's working, I'm just gonna share. I probably won't read the entire thing. I'm gonna open the book and start sharing a point where I'm at. I wish I had a magic wand. I'm like, I want a magic wand so I can point at the cards as I do this. And this card says, dude, I need a magic wand. I need a magic wand. Maybe, hold on one sec. Geminis, thank you for your patience. Check out my shadow there. My shadow. Okay. The closest thing I have to a magic wand is my selenite horn. So, let's bring that one in. Wow. This is huge. Okay, I'm just going to start Divine Love Tools. Oh, okay. Now, let's see. It says also, Dear Spirit, thank you for lifting away anything from these cards that is not of divine love. Spirit guides and master teachers, I ask your protection and assistance in guiding me with these cards, that the soul lessons I need and the viewer needs, the Geminis, are made aware of and are revealed to me and speak clearly to my soul through the use of this sacred deck. All right. A soul spread. Dear universe and spirit friends, I ask you to please draw close to me and illuminate my mind and heart so that my soul may be united in the oneness of the universe. I ask that only the highest of intentions and energies be present in this experience. Please help me release my ego, fears, so that I can clearly see, feel, hear, and understand the lessons my soul needs to be shown at this time. Honestly, these are absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. A multi-card. Okay. Now, because we have so many, we're going to start with abundance here, okay? That was the very first card in the entire deck, and it did also come out. So I'm not going to go in order here, okay? But we can see how they do line up as well. Right? I'm getting 14, 15. So even reflecting on when you were younger or dealing with, or maybe the 14th or the 15th is spotlighted, 614, 615. I also get some Aries, Cancer, Leo, Taurus energy with this abundance. Now you could have that in your chart, or you could be those signs tuning in with Gemini, right? I am a limitless being and I can manifest whatever. So we on abundance right here, okay? Make sure you can see. We're talking about abundance right here. I can manifest whatever I desire in this physical reality. I always remember that you are God. The capital G God. It says, always remember that you are. For me personally, I think it's important to remember you are an extension of God. Okay, you are also the God of your own life. Okay, because we need to stay humble, because you get those egomaniacs who think they are God. Y'all understand what I'm talking about. But I'm just reading what it says in the book as well. So that's the thing. Like, if there are certain things that I don't vibe with, but this person, James Van Prague, has been doing this for a long time, right? He has a lot of experience with this type of work. It says, always remember that you are God and God is all about creation. So I get this as the magician energy, okay? I get this as the Ace of Wands energy, okay? Okay, God says yes, and the ego says no. In order to have abundance in all areas of your life, you must create the space for receiving and knowing, and know that you are deserving of anything your heart desires. The more you can release limited thinking and worry, the more open you are to receiving the infinite flow of the universe. Allow yourself to have fun when manifesting what you want in life and enjoy the process. By embracing a positive mindset, you are opening the door to unexpected abundance. It is natural to have abundance in your life, and you must realize that any thoughts of limitedness may have come from either a past life or a life condition you have chosen to overcome. They could also originate from programming that you received from an environment you grew up in and the value systems you were taught when you were young. Now is the time to begin to live with the realization that you are worthy of having abundance in every aspect of your life. When you are in the vibration of receiving, you can manifest whatever you desire in this physical reality. This could also be dealing with your career, a Capricorn 1415. Those ones seem spotlighted as well. Also some Aries energy. So, your, how you're seen in the world. You could have a Capricorn rising, vice versa, Geminis, Libra or Leo even, Aries rising even. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's continue. I'm going to flip through because we have, and when I see the next card, I'm just going in order. Death. Okay, we're jumping to death. Wow. This could be even about receiving inheritance and stuff like this, okay? Or an ending to something. For some of you, I was getting that there could have just been an ending of a career or a job you were doing, okay? And finding some type of acceptance in that, because there's something new. Or dealing with someone in your life even. 28 or 29. Okay. I'm also getting, so the 20, I did see 528 spotlighted, also 529 Geminis potentially. You could have Scorpio in your life or something like that even, or in your life or in your chart. And it doesn't have to be that. I am learning that endings are merely new beginnings with the death card here. Now we're jumping from here to here. I am going to go in alphabetical order just to save on time with the book message. Death is an illusion. It is a fact of life that the human body we use to travel the earth must eventually stop working. It's not meant to exist forever. The energy and the consciousness that inhabited that body is free and returns to its natural home, but it never abandons us. Learn to view death as merely a change, and everything must change because stagnancy extinguishes progress. The same is true for a relationship or a career. A soul lesson may be completed, and it is time to move beyond this point of familiarity and expand into new horizons of learning and development. Wow. You could also be dealing with a Taurus. It could be, for some of you, I was getting, maybe you could have a grandmother that's a Taurus or a Scorpio even, or a mother energy, and it doesn't have to be that, but, or someone in your life. I also get some Aquarius energy. Someone could be in 28, 29, or 2829. Libra energy as well. Maybe Sag too. Weird. Okay. A soul lesson. So this is saying you may have learned. A soul lesson has been learned. You're learning to trust. You're learning to surrender and find peace with things. Understanding your purpose. This is beautiful. Okay, so yes, a soul lesson may be completed and it's time to move beyond this point of familiarity and expand into new horizons of learning and development. This is a wonderful opportunity to thank those other souls in your life who've shared part of your path and taught you so much. and doubt. So we're going to jump to doubt, releasing the need to know all the answers. 34 and 35. Okay. Once again, those could be ages. Okay. Someone could also be some Gemini, Cancer, Piscean energy. Maybe you're dealing with them and unsure because, you know, maybe somebody was being deceptive during those ages even. I don't know. 304, 305, or you could also have Pisces in your chart dealing with this. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of Cancer sign too with this doubt. 78, and Leo. I release the need to know all the answers. It is impossible for the human brain to comprehend. We over here with doubt. So we're going ding, ding, ding. Make sure you guys can see. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do this big of a spread for all the rest of the zodiac signs. We'll just see, okay? If I do it, man, well, whatever, okay? All right, so you are only consciously aware of the 3 dimensions for a reason, okay? And that is to learn to love without the full awareness of your connection to spirit, your Holy Spirit. Everyone has his or her own personal path to this awareness. And there is no right or wrong answer as long as your goal is to manifest the energy of love and compassion. The wisdom of the divine trickles into the physical dimension, and some of it will resonate with your soul and some will not. These are your signposts that guide you to your correct path. If the wisdom resonates with you and seems right, then keep it. If not, release it back to the universe. And always be aware and mindful of the insights that your spirit guides and teachers put on your path. Wow. And that then takes us to empathy. So we're having this ability to actually, we're leapfrogging. It's not always, and I'm going alphabetical order, but I'm just noticing that as well. So now we jump to empathy, which is clear over here, which can't be seen in this spread. I am open to seeing both sides of the situation. Now, I will say this is definitely, for some of you, this is sun signs, okay? Or you could even be dealing with a Gemini sun sign if you happen to be, a rising sign or moon sign. These were ones that were spotlighted, except for the death did not come out. And 36 and 37. Once again, you could be a Gemini with Pisces or Virgo or Libra or dealing with them, or those could be ages. I'm also getting, Virgo, Gemini, Pisces, Libra, empathy, and imagination. I think it's beautiful that the Pisces pulls in that imagination and love. I don't know if you notice here, but it is pointing up to all of this. And this final thing, so this is where you are working towards, right? You have this ability to create your physical reality, understanding and being surrendering that there are times that there is endings in life, even that our mortal bodies, are not, that they do have it. Our mortal bodies have an expiration date. And also then having empathy and understanding and compassion for others as they may be grieving. But I'm also seeing this is the finality. Oh, it could even be when we get into that Cancerian energy where it is very loving energy too, and that about healing, about nurturing, compassion, love, and your imagination. So imagine all the people, and John Lennon too. And Paul McCartney, and love. I feel like, for me personally, knowing that Paul McCartney is a Gemini, I'm like, and the Beatles and stuff, I was like, he has like, and we think of Gemini, you're the lover's card, so there should be so much like loving energy, silly little love songs. The world is filled with silly little love songs. I'm going to give you a whole bunch of Beatles or Wings even. Paul McCartney. What else? This could be tuning into your Venus energy, right? You guys could be a Gemini Venus. I mean, Libra, even Piscean, Cancer sign. I mean, Taurus and Libra are the rulers of Venus as well, so it can be any of that. And this empathy. I really feel like that is kind of that's what's coming in for this end of this month for you guys of June. Wow. And knowing being of service is helping others. That shows like being empathetic and understanding, placing yourself in another person's situation or position, right? And trying to see both sides of the issue. And helping people with their own happiness and growth and love. What's the other song? Silly little love songs. Listen to what the man says. I like that one. Listen what the man says. I think that's Wings. That's so weird. I was also listening to some Nine Inch Nails and Trent Reznor. Okay, so let's So just be clear. I listened to all, and I actually was like, I'm just gonna listen to the whole album of With Teeth. Bite the hand that feeds. I like that though. Just how deep can you believe? Will you bite the hand that feeds? It says, I am open to seeing both sides of the situation. Okay. Only. You don't truly understand others' motivations if you haven't lived their lives and seen the world through their eyes. It's so easy to judge another's behavior matched up against your own and label it as right or wrong. But you're missing an important part of the equation, the other person's history and their personal path. We are all sparks of the divine with a purpose here in the physical dimension, and we can all exert our free will. Some of us have lost our way along the path to love, and it is a human reaction to judge others before examining their journey through their eyes with compassion. Your job is not to judge. Your job is to love and understand. 36, 37. Dang. That's so weird that I bring up like the Nine Inch Nails. I've always been a fan of Nine Inch Nails and Trent Reznor since my youth, since my rebellious teenage youth. But these were some albums that I haven't, and I was like, I'm just gonna listen to it all the way through. It's Someone Feels Lonely. In those, he feels lonely, right? Okay. Weird. Okay, we're gonna go on. Failure is coming up next. So now we're jumping over here. So now we go clear from here to understanding when someone feels like a failure, or someone feels like they've failed someone. Okay, or we've made a mistake. Failure. I understand the mistake is only an opportunity to learn. These are such pretty cards, you guys. I freaking love them. I freaking love them. And now I'm bringing it and finding peace with that and seeing some type of acceptance, surrendering even. And understanding it, showing your purpose. It's also how you learn what your purpose is or something. 40 and 41. So this literally could, for some of you, I don't know your ages, I don't know where you're at on this journey of life. Okay. But it's interesting because it could be, we start in the beginning being a teenager, right? And, that's what I was kind of getting. And then jumping to the 30s, okay, or something, or the 20s, late 20s. And then we're here now at, the turning 40 or 41. Okay, I'm feeling like a failure. Sometimes these are midlife crises or something, or also dealing with a cancerian energy, a mothering energy, I'm seeing Aries as well for one. April Fools. Aries, Cancer, Leo. I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. Life on earth is full of experiences. It is our human brain that views outcomes as good or bad. The soul simply views them as chances to grow, learn, to see the big picture of life instead of the minute. Failure to accomplish a task is merely the opportunity to evolve, and the negative connotation of the word failure can prevent you from trying again. You must come to the realization that there is no judgment involved with your soul's lessons. Realize that what you view as a failure is just your soul telling you that there is another path, another way. Embrace the maxim where one door closes, another one opens. Revel in the knowingness that everything will reveal itself when it is meant to. No matter what, be true to your dream and the creative process. Now we're jumping to forgiveness, even forgiving yourself or forgiving others. It's even thinking that somebody doesn't have all the answers, okay? Or releasing that doubt, even. Okay, because failure comes and then there's forgiveness. Acknowledging that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love, releasing the need to know all the answers, right? I see like forgiveness and then freedom comes next or something like that. And also with honesty. So that's forgiving others for maybe being deceptive, okay, or not being in their full integrity, feeling like somebody lied or cheated, or and also accepting that they may never be honest, but you know that you know, you can trust yourself to be honest. I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect it from myself. And forgiveness. 44. Mastering. This is, y'all know, when we are tuned into, you know, understanding our spiritual walk, I guess that's what I'm called, our spiritual seeking, even regardless of, you know, religion or spirituality, there's like a common core that we know, like everything is always about finding forgiveness, right? Like this is definitely one of the core lessons. So something that's helped me, which seems weird to understand this, how important it was to learn the lesson of forgiveness for ourselves and for others, right? You have to end up so whoever that person or those people were in your life that were less than honest, um, that may have created a sense of, you know, anger or bitterness of why we're upset. Why do you need to forgive? It's like forgiving someone for wronging you or feeling like you were wronged, right? Or um those people were an integral part of learning forgiveness. It's nobody If nobody had wronged you, what would you have to forgive? I know it's easier said than done, but this is seeing a different perspective, you know, of why, and finding honesty or acceptance with it. Wow. Mastery. This could even been dealing with your own, you know, mother or grandmother, I don't know, or you. Also, someone being 44 or 45. I get even dealing with an Aries or a Cancer sign or a Leo. I get a lot of Leo with that. Or even children, right? I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. You can never flow with your natural energy of love unless you release the negative energy of hate, anger, intolerance, or blame. Every soul in your path has free will, and you have no control over that. What you do have control over is how you react to the manifestations of others' free will. Holding on to that negative energy will strengthen karmic cycles, and forgiveness can break the pattern. Oh, there was something very deep about that, okay? Like I was like, I knew that. If you do not clear that in your mortal time here, Now, it can also work the other way if someone else doesn't, right? That's when we have entered into a energetic karmic cycle with another soul, and the lesson was not learned. So we will be then so if you're like, I don't want nothing to do with that person ever again in this life or next, you gotta clear it, okay? Or else that karmic cycle will continue in a different life with different circumstances, or similar. Clearly there'll be some similar, or switching roles even. um when we talk about the world and we see people who might harm others, we're talking like murder, okay? I feel like that's like, we all know that that's wrong, but yet it still happens. um this is my personal opinion or thoughts regarding situations like that. um and all the people affected and all the people involved, those people, so a lot of times it could be out of rage or anger, violence, like that. And in that sense, those people didn't learn that lesson and clear that karma, and they will have to reincarnate with those particular souls, maybe in a different dynamic, okay, or in different genders, different ethnicity, whatever. So when we talk about breaking cycles and clearing ancestral karma or things like this, and not just ancestral, but our own. So, when I bring up certain things about people in my personal life, that I talk to certain friends that I don't want nothing to do with, frenemies or toxic karmic, even like my mother-in-law, different things like that, or mother, well, I don't know that I'd say that. My mother-in-law, she's like definitely not as bad as my stepmom or my ex-stepmom, but clearing that, finding forgiveness in it, doesn't mean, we all know this, doesn't mean that you allow that person back into your life, and all of that stuff. And for some it may be that there is this, squashing the beef with people. There was a time in my life when you know I wasn't really, like, I wasn't talking to my sister. But at that same time, it wasn't like her as much as it was me. Um, in different situations. But over time and stuff, we've been through this. Like when my mom was on her deathbed, my sister and I were not talking. We have a big age gap between us, right? And then when that brought us back together. Death brought us back together, and we squashed the beef. We didn't even talk about our own little quarrels in between. And then later in life, a similar situation, and she has her own life going, her own friends, her husband, her children, her career, and we have different soul journeys, and we are very different people, okay? So it's challenging too. But so it can be a forgiveness in this life where you do then, come back together with compassion and love, okay, with certain people in your life. Anyways, that's random. I don't know. Wow. Oh, and interesting enough, it goes from failure. So it talks about forgiveness and failures. Okay. Holding on to that negative energy will strengthen karmic cycles, and forgiveness can break this pattern. The most important person you must learn to forgive is always yourself. Blaming yourself for failures blocks the natural flow of love, which will attract all good things into your life. Dang, beautiful message. And it takes us to freedom here. I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. All right. With humor. All right. And releasing any type of guilt or beliefs that no longer serve you. Even with self-forgiveness or forgiving of others, whatever, it frees it. Okay, freedom is next. 46, 47. Okay, once again, these could be ages. I say dealing with maybe an Aries, a Cancer, a Virgo, a Libra energy. I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. Your soul is open to receiving new wisdom and insight that will allow it to make the right choices for its growth. Remember, you are never a victim of other people or their circumstances. You have complete control over your own choices. By following your heart and being authentic to yourself, you present the real you to the world. Making decisions based on other people's expectations is not the true path to happiness. You are responsible for creating your own reality. When a soul shifts to a place of honoring itself in its totality, free from judgment, only then will it find its true freedom. Every soul is unique and follows its own path. Don't give in to peer pressure or the urge to fit in. You are the only one who truly knows the real you. So feel free to march to the beat of your own drummer. The drummer. Okay. Wow. And that leads to growth. As we jump over here, 110 on the clock. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness and bring happiness into my life. And it also makes you feel good to work with others and be of service. Being of service to others or feeling needed, actually, it does give us a sense of purpose, yeah. Especially as a parent. I don't know. Well, even friends or whatever. All right. 54 and 55. So we jumping now. Okay. This could also be dealing with a Taurus or the Taurus energy. Your beliefs. I'm getting a lot. It's really interesting. I'm getting a lot of Taurus energy over here. I'm Pisces, Cancer sign, Libra, Leo too. Okay, whether you have that in your chart or dealing with them. Yeah, I am getting Virgo there too. I'm getting Cancer sign, Leo, Taurus, multiple Leos. Even about your creativity, your fun, working with children or something, or even inner child or stuff like that. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. You are constantly being presented with situations that enable you to develop your inner wisdom and assist you in advancing to higher levels of understanding. The lesson is to be aware of these events and recognize them for what they are. To live a mindful life is not only about respecting and honoring those around you, it's also about recognizing every person and circumstance on your path as a teacher. The constant chatter and diversions of life on earth can distract you from the signposts that spirit has left on your path. Take the time to be aware of the bountiful wisdom that has been laid before you. Acknowledge these gifts and take them to heart as you continue your sojourn in this physical dimension. Don't look for the opportunities that you think you need. Instead, be receptive or open to the opportunities that are given. And that will also, then we're jumping, so overcoming. Then we go back here to guilt. All right. And forgiveness. Release any beliefs that no longer serve you. 56, 57. With this one, I do get scorpionic energy. Okay. I still get the Taurus, Leo, Virgo, maybe Libra. And this forgiveness. I release any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth. The energy of fear has many guises to complicate your path to loving yourself. Guilt is the most devious because it is a wolf in sheep's clothing. It is self-imposed emotion that pretends to be instructive and enlightening. Guilt can help us grow when we realize that our actions have been hurtful to others and that we need to make amends. After we do so, though, it's time to learn from the behavior and move on so you don't hold that, right? The problem arises when we hold on to a guilty feeling that serves no purpose other than promoting self-destructiveness and low self-esteem. No one is perfect. Everyone makes mistakes. Guilt is not always rational, but if you examine it subjectively
act on it, and release it, it becomes a temporary emotion. Long held guilty feelings are never good and will create a roadblock to self love and happiness. You must continually scan your current emotions for any guilty feelings and bring them to the surface for analysis. Healthy guilt is a warning that action should be taken, but irrational guilt needs to be released. All right. And that after that, we jump to happiness. So growth, guilt, I'm seeing forgiveness, and then happiness and being of service of others. I am aware that being happy means I am on the right path. 58, 59. Once again, dealing with a Taurus, a Leo, a Scorpio, maybe even a Sag. Also, I'm getting maybe even remembering your teenage years or dealing with teenagers. I often think about that like, you know, never mind. But, it's just kind of a known thing that teenagers they just don't get along with their parents or something. I mean, not always, but they're hormonal, they're going through this stuff, they're insecure with who they are, they still don't understand their purpose, their role. They're easily more following the crowd or the peer pressure. Okay, I don't know why I'm saying that. 13, 14. Happiness. I'm aware that being happy means that I am on the right path. Before incarnating, your soul created a blueprint for you to follow in this physical dimension. The easiest way to chart this path is to follow your bliss. Life is full of choices and opportunities. Spirit, in its infinite wisdom, has given you the emotion of happiness to guide you. These signposts are always there, but you have to acknowledge them and have the courage to follow them. As you hold this card, well, and you're not holding it, but as we talk about this card with the dolphins there, do you feel that you are living in a life of happiness? That's about your growth and service to others, and love, imagination, and empathy. And that's what we have coming forth at the end of this month or the end of this journey. We will, that's the understanding. The thing I'm seeing that's beautiful, even though I'm not going in order as they came out and I am going through the book, we see how it's not always a straight thing, right? We have this abundance, right? And then jumping to doubting ourselves even, or feeling angry because somebody wasn't, or an ending that happened, feeling like a failure, okay, feeling guilty for or angry, or all of that, and then finally feeling this forgiveness or this freedom after doing this spiritual work or this emotional work, and creates this growth or maturity. Our soul is growing, right? I was getting this vibe, and I shared that in the beginning, that the more that we do end up connecting to our higher self or the divinity inside of us, which I think is our connection to God source, right? Our Holy Spirit, and tuning in and listening to spirit over listening to the world and other people, and guiding us to this happiness, and being in service to others. Our soul grows inside, and it's clearer and easier to hear the longer you do it. It's just like any type of thing, like even if you're working out on your body and stuff like this, the more that you're doing this and practicing, the stronger that you get, the better you get at it. And the same thing with connecting to our highest self, and staying in that happy thing, and also knowing our own self. Like when I'm feeling my emotions of bitterness or anger and certain things like that, I just have recognized, like, throughout my journey, even here, talking about some of these things that have happened and different people and relationships. And now it's like, so I'm getting like, you might see the signs and synchronicities, birthdays or a smell or a music or something that reminds you actually of a person or people that trigger your bitterness, your anger, okay? And at some point, you recognize that you just don't care anymore. Like it's you're like, it feels like that is just kind of like dissipated, and that feels like it's just that acceptance has been found, no longer holding any anger in your heart or vengeance, or you know what I mean. um but I often will see it and I'm like, oh, why is this still, why can't we just let this go? And I'm like, well, it's because to see if I have let it go, and it's same for everyone. We all have our different people and relationships that's like that. Because, I mean, it's easier said than done, clearly, right? And the whole thing of trying to have that understanding that to learn these types of spiritual, human, emotional relationship lessons, um, without a person doing something that makes, or even ourselves doing something um, that makes us feel those other emotions, we wouldn't learn how to release it and let it go. Um, sometimes that's like a hard pill to swallow, right? But it also makes it detach from the situation and find some purpose in it. So you're not emotionally fueled, right? Okay. Wow. Okay, so the happiness, right? Okay, it may be time to be truthful with your soul self. Listen to its language and intuit if there is someone or a scenario holding you back from experiencing complete happiness. Even though it may be painful to admit, you need to be completely truthful. Wow, I feel like that's where honesty is coming in next. Be mindful of how happiness will affect every aspect of your life on your path. Also, intuit if there is someone else in your life who needs to be brought into the awareness of happiness. This is important to recognize as well. Others will want to learn from you, and whether you admit it or not, you can be their teacher. When you are filled with love and compassion, not only do you bring happiness into your life, but you lead others by example. Be the light. 5859. And I'm seeing that of being in service. I feel good when I can help others. And honesty. All right, honesty's coming up next over here. And releasing the need to know all. I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect it from myself. And this is about your growth and expanding. I think growth comes next. Nah, humor is next. Working with humor about this. 62 and 63. Okay, those could be ages once again, or 62, 63 Geminis. I also get some Virgo, Taurus energy, and Leo coming forth with this honesty. I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect it from myself. And being truthful with others is a slippery business, right? You're expected to tell and expect to be told white lies, right? Throughout society, we do that. Like, to be nice. White lies. No one wants their feelings hurt. But sometimes a strong dose of reality is needed. No one can tell you definitely in what circumstance an untruth would be better. But honesty is usually the best policy. You and only you know in your heart when the right time is to be totally honest. The only time you must be absolutely truthful is when you are addressing yourself. You must at all times present yourself authentically to those around you. Only by being yourself do you draw in people and circumstances that you most need to learn from. And now we're going to humor. All right, so now we're going diagonal here. 124 on the clock, humor. I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. 6465. All right, Geminis. Also, those could be ages. I do, like I said, I see Libra energy, Cancer sign, Virgo, Leo potentially with this one. I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. There are definitely parts of life that require your serious attention, but you have to learn to have fun. Don't neglect things that bring you joy or make you laugh. Besides the health benefits in your physical body, your emotional and mental bodies reap huge rewards from the art of joy. I love that it's like the laughing Buddha right there, the golden. Hmm. Seek out the people who make you feel good about being alive. Avoid cynicism and pessimism. Always look at your cup as being half full instead of half empty. The endless chatter of this physical dimension can seep into your conscious mind. So do your best to listen to happy music, read soul enriching fiction, and be wary of movies or TV shows that can darken your mood. Happy people attract happy people. And I personally at this stage, I bring up some other music or even scary movies and things like that, right? And I understand if it affects you, if you recognize in yourself that it affects your attitude, your spirit, if it brings you into, darker thoughts about life, about yourself, about others, or things like this, um, sometimes it is about like facing fear or certain things and also understanding that duality, um, right? Because one of them is also there is such thing as toxic positivity, right? Where it's not in reality. Um, so like some of the music I listen, I'm at that stage where, if I recognize that it is like fueling or it's bringing people, but it's still something I need to do. But like listening to Trent Reznor's Nine Inch Nails song, or the albums and stuff, it's often a journey of, that's the way I look at it too. And it doesn't affect me. But there is definitely ones where I'm like, I can't watch this, or I can't listen to this. My husband will notice it. Like if we start, dude, religion things set me off sometimes, especially or and he will be like, wow, I didn't realize. He was like, okay, because I'll start talking and getting fueled while we're trying to watch a show, and he's like, I'm like, I'm just expressing my frustrations, and he's like, can we just watch a movie? So that's when I know on myself, like, there's something there. I always see it as something like that. Like, I think it's important not to just shove shit under the rug, okay? And cover it up and pretend. Okay? Right? So, but then take action, if that's getting you in a funk. Because there's times if I am in like not a happy mood, I can't sit and listen to like some kumbaya music because I'm like, yeah, this isn't resonating with the energy right now. Like, so I don't know, something like that. It does say, to listen to happier music, read soul enriching fiction, and be wary of movies or TV that can darken your mood. Okay? All right. And then we jump to imagination from humor. Think, bink. And this happiness using your imagination. I feel like this is going to interlink when we get to the women of myth, as well as the Solace Oracle messages. We need to keep that in mind and stay in the love. And some of it is imagination, it's myth, right? Mythology, even. Okay, and having empathy and understanding. I'm just seeing because this final row is all in this very soft lavender. There's two different I almost said sages, okay, stages, but I'm also seeing we have this beautiful red, and then we have the light greens, and then like a mauve color. I don't know if you can see right here what I have. This one got a little heavy, okay? but we cleared it, so it should be fine. And working with Shar right, so even the thoughts, embracing and nourishing the creative aspect of my mind. Sometimes what I'm getting with that is some of that is our own imagination can create fear, right? Huh. The what ifs. Okay. But enjoying your own creativity, your imagination. Like I said, this definitely makes me think of Pisces. I'm getting mastery even 66, 67, 6667 Geminis. Also, a lot of Virgo, Libra, and Sagittarian energy about higher learning or different cultures, different religions, spiritualities. I embrace and nourish the creative aspects of my mind. By its very nature, the physical body is limited by 3 dimensions, but your mind is free to travel without boundaries and merge with the cosmic consciousness. Your mind is the great creator, and your imagination is a toolbox. Everything in life begins with the energy of imagination. Thoughts are real, and they can manifest themselves into the physical world. Train your mind to only have positive thoughts, and you will attract positivity into your life. Mind control. If you can't see it, you can be it. Oh, wait, it says, oh, if you can see it, so visualizing it, you can be it. Visualize the components that you want in your life and imbue those thoughts with love, and they will become your reality. Conversely, if your mind strays to negative thoughts, you will only bring that energy to you. I personally, I understand the concept of this all manifesting, but I'm gonna tell you that thought sometimes, this is my personal opinion or what I've seen, people can be like really trying to be, very positive and only manifesting good things, and then shit happens that they weren't focused on, they weren't thinking of, they didn't, and that will dimmer their belief in this. So we also need to be in reality. Because and there's also been a whole bunch of negative things like fears, that I might have thought of, or worst case scenarios that didn't come to fruition. So my mind did not create it. That was the illusion. That's what fear is. That's what I have always, false expectations appearing real. So that 12th house, and I'm getting that as that Piscean, that 12th house can represent even things that confine us, our fears, nightmares, even. Okay. So imagination can take us to all sorts of places, eh? Okay. Very interesting though. Says be positive and loving. Imagination is creativity, okay? And even people who are creating, fiction, or, like Stephen King and, horror stories and novel, those things came from their imagination and their creativity, in their nightmares even. But it still became very popular, so it's different things like that, So I really try and see the duality with it. That's the whole thing of empathy. I'm open to seeing both sides of the situation. I'm not just only going to be. Sometimes I see that, like my grandma was a Pisces, and sometimes it would seem to me like she would be like in La La Land of reality because she was so happy and positive. Like, don't you understand what's going on? Like, but she was like focused on just her thing, you know? I don't know why. So some of these I'm critiquing my personal thoughts and views as well. I do agree, to be positive and loving. We get a lot of Aquarian energy with that too. The star, be hopeful and healing, right? Express yourself. Let your imagination assist you, letting go of any creative blocks. Allow your dreams to come true. And remember, you're not doing this for other people. It is your soul opening up and singing its own unique song. 6-7. A lot of Virgo, Pisces, Sagittarian, and Libra energy. Of course, Geminis. Now we're going back to all this. So this imagination, this creativity. So I'm getting this 7 of Cups energy, looking at the options. And then we're jumping back to the beginning, okay, of indecision. With the darker purple and the red, this is such a pretty card, even though it says indecision. I use my intuition in all aspects of life. Fear of failure, even. So indecision, that 2 of Swords energy, of course, we know is like trying to make a decision, weighing your options, feeling pushed and pulled in 2 different directions. Sometimes it's head over heart. And sometimes it's wise to use logic versus heart, because our heart can be deceived by emotional manipulation. So that's one thing with a lot of this type of stuff, is recognizing where follow your heart. Yeah, well, when you have a lonely heart and your heart is ignoring the red flags because you're trying to stay positive and believe in love and optimism, and then you get you know what I mean? So I think you all understand. And I'm a Libra, so I understand indecision. I'm like, I'm going to think this through, make sure that I do make the right choice for me, because I don't want to fail. No one does, but also but it's okay because it's part of the learning process. And then we would learn, oh, right, so that option, that choice was probably not the right one for the highest good. And so then we learn, okay, it's the next, try a different way. Indecision. 6-8-6-9. Once again, Geminis, or these could be ages. I get Scorpio Sag with this one. And Libra energy. It says, I use my intuition in all aspects of life. So even trusting that too. Your soul is capital S spirit, holy S spirit, manifest in this physical dimension. Even though you may feel limited by the constraints of your body, your connection to the infinite wisdom of the universe is always available to you in the form of intuition. You're never alone in making any decision. Spirit only wants the best for you, and by listening to your inner voice, you will always be guided to the proper outcome. All you have to do is ask. The expectation of others is only an illusion. You were not born to listen to fear. You were taught to listen to it. Visualize any decision in your life as a fork in the road. How does your body react when you imagine your travels down each path? At first glance, one may look easier to traverse, but the destination will cause anxiety and a heavy heart. Another path may be more difficult to walk, but the destination will feel light and calm. When you silence your mind and listen to your intuition, the signpost will always be obvious. Wow. Okay. And now we find peace. Look, tic-tac-toe. I am a being of love, and I release all negative energy. 7-8-7-9. All right, this could be even someone could be those ages, born in those years even. I get a lot of Cancerian, Libra, Scorpio energy. Or you could be, you could be that. I mean, there's lovely peace energy. I am a being of love, and I release all negative energy. This is a gentle reminder that balance in the mind is imperative in order for your soul to live its true nature. At this time in your life, you are to learn the value of peace and quiet and the joy of being still. One can never be truly connected to the source when the mind is engaged with unneeded chatter. Look around your life and be conscious of what elements are taking you away from the peaceful nature of your soul. Who or what is interrupting this solitude? It is time to reconcile past hurts and perceived injustices. Your peace may also be fostered by changing your outside view. Create harmony around you physically with order and calm, and trust the voice of your higher self to create an environment in which you can truly be in tune with your soul. And look at like, I get this like tic-tac-toe thing. I don't know. So we're looking this way now. Indecision. What do you want? Creating peace, clearing any, and trusting your intuition as well. And then we have trust coming in. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. So the path may be crisscross, like this could be, I'm just getting that, something like that. All O's, X's and O's, right? What is this? X's and O's. They're all circles. Weird. And then finding purpose. Okay, so we went from peace. It said to trust, but I know we're going to go to purpose next. No. Pride. Ooh. The first one. Ooh, I just saw something floating. It might have just been a little fuzzy in the air. Okay, I love myself and I see myself in everyone. Pride. 82, 83. That's where weird. Okay, for some of you, like I was saying, now some of you could actually like be a Leo with Gemini in your chart, or be dealing, you have Leo rising, a Libra rising. I'm just getting something like that, or even Gemini risings, of course. Because Pride is page 82 and 83. So 8283. This could also be birth years. Leo energy, Scorpio, Taurus, Libra, and Gemini. I love myself and I see myself in everyone. You need to take time to honor and acknowledge who you are and what your soul has accomplished with your life thus far. Since you've been reflecting, all right, maybe even during this time reflecting on your life so far, and being proud of yourself for how far you've come as well. Okay, it also says you should look at your past soul choices and be mindful of how, through positive actions, compassion, and understanding, you have made a better life for yourself and others. How have you changed the world in some little way? How have you shared insights with others? Reflect on what you have mastered. You should never underappreciate or underestimate yourself or your accomplishments. Now is the time for you to remember how brave you have been throughout your journey. Celebration is required, okay? And for some of you, I was even recognizing that, okay, for especially the sun signs, okay, out there, for the birthday messages from the grannies postcards tarot, as I read that, and I'm like, oh, there's a celebration, a party, right? And for some of you, like, of course, maybe it is like for your birthday season, but I was getting for some of you, now this was specific for Gemini sun signs that was coming forth, an anniversary, a wedding, a proposal, even something like that. But regardless, this is also like you're being celebrated, all right, for how, whatever stage in life you're at and how far you've come on your soul's journey. Yeah. Celebration. Celebrate. Human. I actually got this song by Daft Punk, which actually, I forgot to mention that one. One more time, we're gonna celebrate. So you might even be like, especially for you with some birthday season, right? Okay, and maybe it is with a Cancerian energy, or getting together with friends, an anniversary, okay, whatever it is. I was seeing that like maybe it's happening like today, because it's very, very much in this current energy. You know what I mean? Like it could be getting together with another group of friends or a different family group, celebrating, your special day, solar return, or something like that. Because that was Daft Punk did one more time. We're gonna celebrate one more time. Huh. I get Virgo energy too. Whatever. It's so good though. I like it. Humans tend to spend too much of their time and energy on negative emotions or what they have not done. This card signifies that you should take rightful ownership of who you are and how you have shared your unique light with the world. It may also be a perfect time for you to look around and acknowledge those other souls who have also accomplished many great things and who need to be reminded of them. One more time. Now we find purpose. It's like spin the bottle. I don't know what the hell I'm doing right here with this. I just felt guided to do it. I don't, you know. This one is fascinating. There was so much here. Yeah, for sure. Okay. 84 and 85 once again could be dealing with uh those could be ages. I get Leo, Scorpio, Cancer, Leo. A lot of Sag energy actually with this and this. This pride and purpose. Sag energy represents, your opposite Gemini's, right? But it does about like higher learning, higher education, um, understanding about different religions or spiritualities, different cultures around the world, long distance travels, right? It is really about wisdom. I almost said Liz. Okay, whatever. Lizdom. Your wisdom and Jupiter abundance, right? Hmm. And then your ability is to bring it into layman's terms, if you know what I mean, like keeping it on a uh you know keeping it on a level of just maybe even more just about talking about the different types of food that the cultures eat, or trying new different things like that, right? Or how the weather is different, or the climate or the temperature, um or even the different languages, learning things like that, even. So, whatever it is, I'm getting that you should be proud of yourself for all you've done, all right? Um, and even any mistakes you made along the journey, right? Finding peace, finding peace with any endings that have happened throughout life, even with a loss of people in our lives that we've loved or cared for, as well as even careers and jobs and relationships, right? Um, and finally, feeling that you found purpose. I get it, purpose in the pain, purpose to the pain, finding your own purpose. This is what we strive for, right? Like, it seems like when we look at astrology, it can be about your North Node, right? Your purpose. It's finding your niche in the world, because that just, that really, when someone that feels purposeless, they feel like a wandering lost soul that is, uh, has no point. They feel, you know, empty, and like it doesn't matter. They don't matter. Hmm. Anyways, that one got a little somber there. All right, it says, I know what I am here to do. You have chosen to reincarnate on Earth for one major goal: to express love in all that you do. I see it as creating peace as well, overcoming failures, trusting in your inner voice, helping teach others how to trust. I mean, maybe feel that. The mission is peace, yeah? Wow. And the obstacle of this physical dimension can distract you from that goal, and it's easy to lose your way. Life on earth is full of obligations that require your conscious attention, but that doesn't mean you can't infuse all of your decisions with caring and compassion. Your purpose in life is not your career. Rather, your career is guided by your purpose. What activities speak to your soul? What brings you joy? That is the direction your soul is calling you toward, to best convey your own unique expression of love and make a contribution to the world. If you are not happy with your current circumstances, then that is your soul telling you that there is a better way to manifest your own distinct gifts. Listen to your intuition. It is your connection to spirit and the voice of your soul. Wow. There's so much about that in this, especially this is definitely in like maybe that first week or two. I don't know, whenever you did get this. Um okay, let's continue. I don't see regrets. There's relationships. Service. So another thing about your purpose and creating peace. You're gonna be I feel like the peacekeeper, you see, even helping others. Relationships. That's why I'm getting that Libra energy, because it could be about working with other people, being of service, um, uh, creating love and happiness, helping them even, or this also helps you. I feel good when I can help others. We jumping all the way from peace and purpose to service and empathy. All right, clear it over here. I feel like it's going to go to love. At this point, QRS, we're going to get service, surrender. I'm saying we're in it. We're going alphabetical order in this particular one, okay? So it is what it is. I feel good when I can help others. 92 and 93. Weird. All right, so this could even be dealing with that Virgo energy, Sag, Taurus, Scorpio, Gemini. 9293. One of the most evolved gifts that a soul possesses is giving of itself. There's a reason why it feels so good to give. It is because your soul resonates with that vibration. Your soul should be aware that it might currently be in a situation in which it needs to be fulfilled on a higher level. This can only happen through the attributes of humbly serving and supporting others. Put yourself in a position in which you can benefit another soul in any other possible way and demonstrate unconditional love toward others. This might mean bringing yourself into the heart space and letting everything you involve yourself in come from an attitude of giving freely. You have to learn to direct your green heart light energy. Dude. Okay, I almost called you guys Scorpios. Okay, weird. The last painting I did was in the shape of a heart, and I used this beautiful, I used like this mint green, as well as like it's called Enchanted Forest green, which kind of so has a little bluish tint to it, and of course some white, and I poured it on a heart. So it was weird. I was like, a green heart, huh? I'm supposed to make a green heart. And I'm finally understanding now. That's about my creativity, imagination, creating happiness. You have empathy right next to service as well. And love. Wow. Your green heart light energy through all your thoughts, actions, and deeds. Look around and see where and how you can serve another. Perhaps one way would be asking a friend if you can help clean up his or her office or run errands for them. Maybe volunteering to watch your neighbor's kids so the parents can have a night out. Make a meal for someone who might be sick. Volunteer in a hospital or hospice. Perform an activity that enriches someone else's life. Now, the other thing I want to say about this is not to feel like an indentured servant as well. Like, you should desire to do this. You should desire to help them. You know what I mean? When you're using empathy too and understanding, I get this weird thing. So Chick-fil-A, I don't know how I feel. I love chicken sandwiches. I had Wendy's last night. It was so fucking good. I don't know. We talking food, Gemini's. Never mind. Wendy's. Never mind. I was like, this was like the best spicy chicken sandwich. I wanted another one. Anyways, I'm bringing that because, like, even when they're so at Chick-fil-A, when the people are serving you And if you've never had it before, and I understand, and people want to have like negativity because they're closed on Sundays and they have Christian beliefs and things like that, but whatever. Let that go. It's a fucking delicious sandwich, okay? Anyways, if that's gonna stop you from eating there out of, and whatever, if that's what you feel. Anyways, they always say it was a pleasure. It was my pleasure. When you're ordering, is there anything I can do for, or I don't know. They always say something very. It was a pleasure to serve you. Stuff like that, like, and they actually seem happy. Like, people that are serving us food through a fast food window can truly be in their purpose and be in happiness. Okay, so it's not talking just about like having these huge, they are doing certain things. Last night I also watched South Park with the Amazon strike. That one is, I like South Park, dude. Anyways, and so I was like, we need our packages. Oh, okay. Sorry. This is different. All right. Anyways, maybe it's asking, volunteering to watch your neighbor's kids. I don't know, for a night out. Make a meal for someone who might be sick. I am just like, there's certain things like I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go volunteering in a hospital or hospice. That's not part of that doesn't resonate in my heart space. But for some, it does. And that's the other thing. So wherever it is that you feel guided, that you want to help, feel of service, right? And even if someone does ask for help, and vice versa, if you're not in a place where you're the one that is in need of help from others, then don't be afraid to ask, right? Or someone may be just offering this to you. Especially, yeah, okay. Wow, okay. That's what I say about service. And now we're going to surrender. Releasing need to control. So that's the other thing of just being open. So there was a time, even if you are like, okay, surrendering, okay. Where has God where can I be of service? And this is opening yourself up to be even a channel of light from God's source. And for some of you, it is helping others overcome, with grief. Weird, like I said, hospice. So maybe some of you, it's something like that. But also surrendering and letting go. And trusting your intuition. 96 and 97. So it could have been something about, those ages, the years, 96, 97, that's back in the past even, or Virgo energy, Sag, Libra. I can release my need to control. You need to understand the distinction between power and control. Surrender and then freedom. Giving everybody their free will, their freedom. And you're free to also do that too. Okay? I feel like there's times where people guilt trip others into servitude. And in that, people start growing bitter and they're not feeling like they're not on their right path. They're not feeling happy. And that's even releasing control, especially even regarding like religious things, because this is something that always bugged me, where they would guilt trip you and say, oh, well, we would really like you to do a talk or someone, but I don't want to. Oh, but you have to, basically. Or bring food or do that stuff. And sometimes people start getting part of their church or their community and they're no longer free. They've given away their free will. And for some, they happily do this because they want to serve the greater good or serve God or serve things. But if their intent is that they're going to receive some type of reward and they're not actually happy to do it and happy to be there, That's deciphering too. Like, you know what I mean? Okay. Surrendering control between power control. You have the power too of internal control, but very little external control over people or situations. That's the whole thing of remember, we always remember we can't control others. And if you start trying to do that, you find yourself in devil energy, controlling with fear, guilt, temptation, you know, stuff like that. The majority of your external control is through the power of influence. You can lead by example, yes. See, that's where manipulation comes. When people start trying to control others. Okay, now clearly in this world, we do have laws and rules and regulations, and it is always about protecting from others who have malicious intent, right? And then they are controlled because they, trying to harm other, and then, prison and jail and stuff like that. It's because they, for the greater good of humanity, that these people are locked up. And I get that they're wrongfully accused and all these different things like that. I'm just saying, I don't know where we're going with this, but something about that. Okay. I always think of that, of understanding. This is something like I've known for a long time. And anytime my grandparents would try and control me and force me to go to church, I would literally, I just worked this so well. It's like, wait. Wait a minute here. You are being the exact thing that you think that you are better than, okay? Don't be taking away the free will that my God given rights. God gave me free will. And they were like, okay. And that ended that conversation, and I never had to go to church with them again. That was my 17, 16-year-old talking to the grandpa and grandma. I had to live with them because I was a bad kid, right? Okay, just so you know. And here I am. Okay, anyways. Sorry, I got distracted there. Lead by example. Every soul has its own unique path, and it is not your job to dictate. Giving advice or direction in a compassionate manner is the way to go. Your soul too has a path, and you possess the power to control it. That's self-control, right? Discipline, even. You must surrender the illusion that you have control over another person. Remember that this is a process, and from time to time, your ego will rise up and demand that things be the way they should be. Envision a hot air balloon being loaded up with all of the things you think you need to control, and let them ride away in the balloon. You'll be surprised to find that when you release the energy of control and accept the energy of surrender, doors will open that you never expected. Because you have now given the universe space in which to materialize what is needed for your highest soul growth. And then trusting in the divine. All right? And there is surrendering and acceptance, even, okay, with some ending. So that's the other thing, people trying to control a relationship and hold on to it, or something, or a job or something like that. Like, the same thing about holding on to somebody who is at their end stage of life, even in hospice, right? But whatever it is, some ending, it's always one door closes, another opens. And death is not an ending, it's a beginning of something else. And then trusting in the divine. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. 9899. Okay, even Virgo, or like I said, those could be ages of someone coming forth for you that has passed. For me, the 92, 93 even. Or it could have been sometime in that year, or 96 even. But I do get Virgo energy, so you could be dealing with a Virgo, a Sagittarius, a Scorpio. Someone could have been when they were 17, or when you were, something could have happened. Or 90 in 98 or 99 even. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly and trusting. The earth can be a tricky place, but you have been given a tool to help you navigate through this murky waters, your intuition. You must learn to tell the difference between your ego talk and the soul's talk, and then trust your soul. Once you get into the habit of following your intuition, you will come to practice that discernment externally. Yeah, discernment. You will be able to know if a person or a situation is trustworthy. Huh. So, the other thing is when we talk about past lives and different things like that, and some people I think are on a different level of soul growth, and that's why, like some people, it feels like they were awake and aware at a younger age. Like, I just remember already questioning everything at like 10 years old, right? And also not understanding. There was also an innocence too. I didn't understand why others. I literally remember thinking this, like, all these people were have no moral compass inside of them. It had nothing to do with like fear of, punishment from God for doing bad things, or my parent, or the law, or anything. It was always like the moral compass of, you know, that's when I started realizing that not everybody was on that same, had their soul growth evolved, and that's when we start closing ourselves off as well, and learning that we need to trust our intuition and not just what somebody says or speaks. Okay. And also there comes a time where we don't trust ourselves anymore because we really wanted to believe in the best in a person and not, give them the benefit of the doubt, and in the end, and then we stop trusting in that. Okay, so that when you do read between the lines, even, or certain things, and trust those nudges, and it's the same thing, is the more you really tune in, the clearer the discernment is. So, that's like reading the energy of the environment or what's coming off of the person. Okay. Wow. You will be able to know if a person or situation is trustworthy. But it all begins with listening to your inner voice. Exercise it like a muscle. Yeah. And when you determine that it is always right, that wisdom will spread out and influence everything that you do. Decisions will seem easier. Your soul only wants what is best for you, and you must learn to trust it. 99. That was something I prayed for quite a bit. Once that was having that discernment between our fear, our ego, or was it intuition? Like, is this a premonition warning me? Or I'm getting these nudges warning me, versus this is just my irrational fear because I'm scared of water or whatever, or I'm scared of being hurt again, or I'm scared of being vulnerable. Um, and we're all working on that. I feel like until you transition, you still be working on this. And even after that, you know, it's a different level. Then you are like, I was like, I am going to be, dude, I'm going to be that spirit guide that be in there, like flashing the lights and flickering. No. uh, anyways, for my ancestors, I'm gonna be them. So I mean, I'm not like in a rush to get there. I know I'm needed here, and I'm not, you know what I mean. Like I don't have any like a death wish or running straight into things like that. But at the same time, I'm, you know, I don't know how to tell you this. Surrendering and finding acceptance, even, and trusting in your own soul's journey. All right. And we talk about that with like not listening, like tuning out the news and different people's opinions, and oh, there's so much chatter, isn't there? Right? in this world. And that's when it's like, okay, I gotta tune out all the other noise so that I can hear my soul speak. And sometimes it is then getting connected to the divine and nature, right? And things like that. Okay, this is beautiful. Okay. One of your first ones, especially for the birthday or the sun signs, one of your first cards that came out was worry, okay? And learning as well that worry doesn't change an outcome. All right, and learning how to trust 100%. Wow, was that it? Wait, trust in love? Did I read love? Did I skip love? Like, did I? Worry was the last one. Okay. Did I skip love? I might have skipped love. How could I skip love? Or did I already read that and I'm like, I'm going to read it again? Nah. Yeah, no, I might have already. 7475. That loving energy, it could even be in that Cancer energy. Some of this energy could go into the beginning of July, the 4th of July, where I am. That's Independence Day. I get Libra, Cancer, sign Leo, and Scorpio. Those could be your Venus energies, or well, whatever happens, it doesn't matter. Or you could be a Gemini Venus energy and committing to the practice of seeing the good in all things, trusting. I see this as also trusting that your soul wants the best for you, wants to guide you towards love. Sometimes our journey, I think, with relationships is deciphering love versus lust or temptation or money. Actually, one of the Trent Reznor songs was "Love Is Not Enough." Very interesting. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. That is such a pretty. There's a pearl there, and the flowers and growth. You are love. How did I miss that one? That's the final message. Trust and love, even. Okay. Your soul, love. You are love, Geminis. What are we on time? Finishing this up 2:11 on the clock. Dang, this one went so long. Thank you all once again for taking the time. I hope you did tune in to this. All right, I realize these get long, but hopefully during your downtime, or you can split it up and come back around the next day and take the pieces throughout your month, right? How you feel guided, right? Because this is for your full 30 days. So I trust in love. Dude, I always go to the song by POD, which is Payable on Death, okay? And Alive. Every day is a new day. I'm thankful for every breath I take. I won't take it for granted. So I learn from my mistakes. It's beyond my control. Sometimes in this lifetime, right? So I trust in love. You have given me peace of mind. I feel so alive. Yeah. It's a beautiful song. Okay. You are love, Geminis, and all who tune in. It is your inherent vibration. The obstacles and challenges of the physical dimension attempt to trick you into thinking that there are other ways to view life. But there is only one way that is natural to your being. It's love. This card simply reminds you that your soul is made of God's pure, divine, vibrational force of love, and that you need to bring this awareness to bear on every aspect of your life and being. Love is an energy healing. All anxiety and drama cannot exist in the aura of love. Most souls have come back upon this earth to learn, accept, and utilize this harmonic force to see its effect upon their lives. It is your time to remind others of the strength of their own power of God and assist them in knowing fully that love is the most powerful element in the universe. It builds, fortifies, and strengthens even the worst lost person. When we live in the power of love, then and only then will we know the truth. True love is the spiritual link between us and God. It will guide our footsteps through the conflicts of the material world and will cleanse our hearts of unwanted facets of the human personality. Wow. And we are finishing your soul's journey message with love. With love. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. I hope you guys have enjoyed, as well as oh my gosh. So, beautiful, beautiful messages to kick off this June monthly message. Thank you, Geminis. I hope you all have enjoyed. I will be doing, as you all know, more than one video. So I'm no longer going to be linking those in the description. I just wanted to say that I was taking a little bit too much time and I didn't see that the outcome. I wasn't getting so. If you want to see one of your other videos, just click on my channel, scroll down, find the one you feel most guided to, or even check out your rising sign, moon sign, Venus, however you feel guided. Dang. Beautiful messages working with the soul's journey. It is, like I said, it is 6/2 today as I'm doing this video for you guys. And it's Tuesday. So one of the things I kind of started doing is bringing out the Bold Tuesday action cards, giving you that guidance, inspiration, whatever, boss girl, boss man, whatever. So I think in your second video, we're going to first start with those. I'm going to leave this here. This is, like I said, for your entire month of June. So it's always, and even if you need to come back around or throughout the month to get this inspiration or guidance, trust your intuition about how you're guided, right? Your second video, like I said, I'm gonna get some boss Bold Tuesday cards, and I'm gonna jump into the affirmators with family messages. All right, thank you, Geminis. Bye bye.